that you will learn a lot today. So please be with me till the end of the session. Right? I will be giving you breaks after every 40 minutes. Right? So straight away, we will look at the exhibits later on. Firstly, what will be our focus? We have to look at the requirements, right? So suppose you are in the examination hall and you get this question in front of you. Okay, so now straight away, do not start from just reading the exhibit. First of all, you should move to the requirements straight away and read the requirements, right? Read the requirements. So what I would do, I will be using different color highlighters to highlight my requirements, right? For example, prepare a briefing note for the CFO which explains the specific nature of the principal agent relationship of the BCO as a charitable organization. I will highlight it with yellow color. The advantages for the BC of having a two-tier board structure, again, uh, and how BCO mission and strategic objective meets its stakeholder needs. So all of these areas are from which are from where corporate governance. So I will be using this yellow color for all corporate governance questions. Okay, then I will move down and read the. Okay, professional skills marks are available for demonstrating commercial acumen skills and demonstrating understanding of organizational issues relevant to BCO. 2 marks we will get. That means first requirement will give us 14 marks. Remember that. Now, the second requirement is of analyze the financial and non-financial performance of the BCO in the latest financial year 2001, providing reasons for and implications of the results. B part professional skills are available for demonstrating analysis skills and considering the relevant information evidence relating to BCO's financial and non-financial performance. We will get 3 marks for it, overall 16 marks requirement, and we will get complete 30 marks by doing this requirement. So see, now you can see I highlighted my second requirement of financial and non-financial performance of BCO in the financial year 2000 X1 with the this what should I say, light blue color, right? Now you might be wondering that why I'm using this multicolors. You will get this technique in a while. Okay, keep watching. Now, prepared a report for the CFO which evaluates the extent to which the external environment could impact on the BCO strategic objectives. 15 marks will be available for this requirement. What I'll be using pink color, which evaluates the external to which the external environment could impact on the BCO strategic objectives. By the way, if you guys will be having any questions, please do ask me via message on the Zoom and I will reply you, or you can also ask your question on the WhatsApp as well. Right, so professional skill marks are available for demonstrating evaluation skills in objectivity, appraising the facts, opinions, and finding related to BCO's external environment. Then we have next requirement, prepare 3 presentation slides with accompanying notes which recommend with clear justifications 3 applications of information technology that the BCO could use to enhance its e-business capabilities. We will get 15 marks for this. Professional skills are available for demonstrating communicating skills in compelling arguments to prepare the board of trustees of the potential of e-business technologies for the BCO 4 marks, and we will get 38 marks for this second requirement. Right now, what we'll be using for this part, um, okay, mm, orange color. Straight away, we will be moving to our third requirement. Prepare a confidential report which evaluates the BCO's current risk register and the adequacy of each of the risk mitigating activities, clearly highlighting whether the chairperson concerns are justified. Risk register. So a dark pink I'll be using 15 marks. Now, soon after you completed your report on the BICO register and thing, blah, 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 we will read this part later on. Prepare the briefing note for the CEO, which explain the importance for the BICO's board of trustees to have a significant mix of skills and diversity and important of continuing professional development management board members to ensure the BICO's meet its obligation to its stakeholders. 4 marks. Uh, I'll be using yellow again because it's related to corporate governance mostly. See, like that. I highlighted all my requirements with different colors, as you can see. Now, what I'll be doing? Now I'll be starting reading my scenario from the start. The Bloom Conservative Organization (BCO) is a not-for-charitable organization set up to protect endangered wildlife around the world. It was founded 50 years ago by Dana Bloom, a wealthy entrepreneur with a passion for wildlife protection. She set up the Biko Wildlife Park in her home country of Greenland, and since it was founded, the wildlife park has provided intensive hands of management of some of the world's most threatened animals in the wildlife park. Animals breed and increase a number while the keepers and wildlife experts study them to learn more about what they need to thrive in the wild again before releasing them. The BCO also operates 20 in the field animal protection program that is animal welfare and management activities occurring in the animal's natural habits in 15 countries worldwide. The BICO employs teams of locally based wildlife experts and volunteers to manage and protect some of the most endangered animals in the world. So far, we are just getting what the organization does. Nothing's related to the scenario or the first requirement. Much of the BISO's income comes from donation from the public, from corporate donors. The BCO also generates income from legacies, which are donation left when people die. Zealand, as with many other development economies around the world, has suffered from economic recession for several years, and many charitable organizations have struggled to survive in such difficult economic times. However, the BICO has managed to maintain its position world leading charity in wildlife first cost cutting, realization, more targeting, active promotion, blah blah blah. We could uh, relate this second one with the risk part, risk related requirement later on, right? The BSOAP Board of Trustees, which oversees the management of the charity, which is undertaken on a day-to-day basis by management board. Dana Bloom, who is now uh, sorry, who is now over 80 years old, has very recently stepped down from her role as chairperson, and new chairperson Rani Jeffers has just been appointed. Rani Jeffers has a strong commercial background, having previously been the chief executive of Gieland's leading corporations. Just a second, someone came back. So Rani Jeffers has a strong commercial background, having previously been a chief executive of several of Zealand's leading corporations. You are working as a senior finance manager of a BICO. Now we have the following extracts. Exhibit 1, extract from the BICO annual reports highlighting the BICO mission, which aim and objective and its activities in the latest financial year ending. So this is
मुझे
this
बुखार आ रहा है
exhibit 1.
बोलो
Uh,
दो पूछो मम्मा सीएससी खाऊं दे दूं
this exhibit 1 is actually related to corporate governance and our mission and vision related requirements. About us page of the BICO website. The website page sets out the leadership structure and governance of the charity. So basically, exhibit 1 and 2 is relevant for our question number 1. Let me write with the yellow. Okay. BICO financial activities and KPI summaries of the income and expenditure for the last two financial years. We can use Exhibit 3 for the requirement one, financial and non-financial part as well. Charity sector research report, a recent research article dealing with the main threats and opportunity facing the charity sector. Well, that's related to risk. BICO risk register. The latest risk review identifying the king risk mitigating activities identified by the risk committee. Again, risk part. Article on the charity leadership, news article on the recent publicly surrounding leadership issues in the charity sector that will be related to our question number 2, right? So question that will relate. Oh, sorry. Question number 2. We should use pink for that. Sorry for that. Specific nature of the principal agent relation of the BICO charity organization, advantages for the BICO of having two-tier board structure, and how the BICO mission and strategic objects meets its key stakeholders needs. 12 marks. Let us straight away jump in and start looking at our the first exhibit. Here it is. Uh, Once again, move back. How the BICO's mission and strategic objectives meets its key stakeholder needs. The requirement 3. Here, let's look at for the third part. What our mission protecting and converging our wildlife of future generations, a safer, healthier world where people respect and support our wildlife, aim to support and increase the number of healthy and thriving wildlife communities across the world and encourage everyone to be more involved in the environment they live in, right? So now what are the strategic objectives? We have set out three strategic objectives, but the next 5 years these are ensure that 100 threatened species are protected and returned to their natural habitat, invested 100 wildlife habitat projects across the globe, yeah, across the globe, yeah, that means world, through providing training and evaluation for local staff, volunteers, and communities. Ensure 1 million people are better connected with nature through education and awareness of the natural world they live in. Okay, so here it is. That's for the third part. Now Any guess? Just so far you have looked at, uh, and can you guys also suggest me your ideas related to the part three? Okay, related to the part three, can you suggest how the BCO mission and strategic objective meets its key stakeholder needs? Any idea? Any idea, folks? No. So shall we start now? Okay. Where is our exhibit one? Okay. Strategic needs the of the stakeholders. Now, think, use some common sense. Who do you think are the main stakeholders of the charity organization who are of the charity who are actually the mission is already, you look at the street the mission that conserving the wildlife for future generations. So who are the uh, stakeholders? First of all, identify the stakeholders. Who do you think are the stakeholders? Any, what do you say? Well, if you can't tell, shall I tell you? Okay. For the wildlife organizations that think like about the wildlife animals, right, are the stakeholders. The employees who are working in the organization are the stakeholders. The people who are uh, investing in the organization, or should I say, should I use a better word, that they who are actually um, giving donations to the organization, right? Who are actually giving donations to the organization, they all are the stakeholders of organization, isn't it? Right? So what I will say again, once again, look at the question. See why I'm stressing the how the BCO mission and strategies objective meets its key stakeholders' needs. You need to tell it. So what you need to do, what you will say. By the way, I will start writing the answer. Just tell me, is it fine if I write with the yellow color? Is it fine for you guys? Is it readable, or shall I change the color to write my points further? Just tell me, anyone, so that I can continue, please. Is it fine if I use a red color to write? Okay, I think it's fine for you guys. So let me start. Uh, Third part. So it's a yellow color. I will say that the mission of the organization is to protect wildlife for future generations. And the vision is the vision is safer, healthier, where people respect and support wildlife. Okay. So simply further what you will say that for most profit seeking organizations, the budgets are largely driven by needs of principal, that is, the owners of shareholders. In particular, objectives will be mainly focused on ensuring that the principal's returns are maximized. However, our principals are acting on behalf of range of stakeholders, and therefore our mission and objective will have a different focus in this case. So simply you'll say in this case our focus is not maximizing profits, right? Uh, but mission is focused on protecting and conversing wildlife, world's wildlife for future generations. This meets the needs of wide range of stakeholders, including the wildlife itself and the people who live and work within the communities in which they live. Additionally, the wider community will also benefit from a world in which wildlife can thrive and live safely in the natural habitat. The next thing you can say, the first objective, the first objective of protecting and returning the 100 threatened species to their natural habitats meets the need of threatened species themselves and communities from where they came. from where they came, right? Therefore, the objective needs our stakeholder needs. Next objective is investment in 100 wildlife habitat project across the world through training and objectives, training and education for local staff and communities. Also meets the need for stakeholders, including staff, local people who require the specific knowledge and skills to ensure that habitat projects are successfully run and managed, uh, that donors' funds are used effectively. Finally, the last objective, or you can say the third objective, is to ensure 1 million people are better connected with nature meets the needs of our communities and population. Why so? To understand and appreciate the natural world they live in. If the wider population appreciate and will understand the natural world better, this will impact directly on the wildlife species the BCOs ultimately set up to protect. Right? So look, see what I did. Simply, I have nothing. I have not. I didn't write anything on my own. I just used the scenario. I just used the relevant part exhibit. As you can see, I just use this exhibit, and out of it I took out my points, and by using these points I can make my small paragraphs and write a pretty good answer to get the maximum marks out of this which are available. This scenario had 12 marks, so if I write the good paragraph like this, I can easily score 9 to 10 marks at least, right? So I will continue to the next requirement. But before that, we have some 3 minutes, so you can ask your questions in the chat box or in the WhatsApp, and then we will do the next part of the question in the after the questioning break. Please ask your questions. You can ask your question on the WhatsApp and as well as on the chat box uh, in the chat box.